Welcome to Sisters in Service podcast. Most of you know me as a strong advocate for women veterans in being recognized not only as veterans, but also as women who are changing the world through our passion of serving, even after service. This podcast is my passion by telling all the stories of military brats, military spouses, active duty, and veterans, not to forget the veteran service organizations that help us along our transition journey. I want to thank you in advance for listening. I hope that you will join me every week. A new podcast and episode comes out every Tuesday. So I hope that you will join and I hope that you enjoy. This podcast is brought to you by Small Space Pilates. Are you ready to get fit and fabulous from the comfort of your own home? Look no further than Small Space Pilates. With live online Pilates and strength training classes, a video library, and a no perfection allowed policy, you can achieve your fitness goals without ever leaving your house. Click on the link for your complimentary week and start your journey to feeling fabulous today. Welcome everyone to another episode of Sisters in Service. I am your host, Kat Corchado. And this month I am highlighting women in the military and also women in health and fitness. And because it's Women's History Month, why not? But I think it's important to understand where these women have been and where we are going. I think it's awesome to know about these women because no one ever talks about these things. So I wanted to take a minute and highlight a particular woman who was in the military. So these are inspiring stories of women who made a difference and often against all odds. I'm shining a light on a remarkable woman whose story of resilience and dedication is truly inspiring. We're talking about Dr. Louise Clem, a woman who defied societal norms to serve in a time of crisis. So before we go there, let me ask you this. What would you do if your skills, your passion, and your drive were dismissed simply because of your gender? Think about that for a second. Think about a time when a woman couldn't get a bank account without her husband. She couldn't get a credit card. She couldn't drive. She couldn't buy a car, let alone drive. A job? Who does that? So imagine this, and then we're going to jump into this for a second. So would you back down, or would you find another way to make a difference? Keep that question in mind as we explore the life of Dr. Clem. Dr. Louise Clem was an American physician who, despite being denied the opportunity to serve as a doctor in the U.S. military during World War I, due to her gender, didn't let this setback deter her. Instead, she traveled across the Atlantic to England and served in a hospital there treating wounded soldiers. Her story is one of determination, courage, and unwavering commitment to her profession. So let's ask this question. How did her actions challenge the societal norms of her time? Well, the fact that she was female is one. Okay, she was challenged by the fact that she was female. But she proved through her tenacity that women were just as capable as men in the field of medicine, despite being denied the opportunity to serve in her own country's military. Remember, she was denied here in the United States. She decided to go to England and serve in a hospital there, demonstrating her competence and dedication. And so I think it's important to understand her resilience in the face of gender discrimination. I don't even think it was called that at that time. You just didn't know. All you know is that she was told no. So what about her resilience and the importance of perseverance, sorry about that, and her determination? How many times have you been told no and you said, really? Watch this. Or does someone say no to you and you just go, okay. And you take that as final. So even when faced with obstacles and discrimination against her gender, she didn't give up on her passion and commitment to helping others. So what does this teach us? We should continue to strive for our goals no matter the challenges we face. But again, depending on the person, that can be hard. But when you're passionate about something as much as she was, then nothing can stop you from being successful. So, would Dr. Clem's story inspire others facing similar challenges today? Again, I think it depends on the person. I think the challenges of today show that it's possible to overcome adversity. It's easier, I think, today than it was back then. And then on top of that, making an impact. So she was making a significant impact and overcoming adversity at a time when women were kind of just in the corner. We were housewives and we took care of the kids, and nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But if that's not what you want and you want something different, just putting it out there. So Dr. Clem's story can motivate us as women when we're facing discrimination or other obstacles to persevere and continue pursuing our passions. And again, that's easier said than done. So in what ways does Dr. Clem's story highlight the importance of perseverance and determination? Well, she had the qualities of, I'm a doctor. She was already a doctor. She didn't try to go to England and say, I can do bandages and I can do this. I'm not qualified, but I can help out. She was qualified as any of her male counterparts. So by showing her qualities and that enabled her to overcome gender discrimination, and she made a difference in the lives of many wounded soldiers. Imagine if she hadn't. Maybe they were shorthanded. Maybe they couldn't get to all of the soldiers. Maybe some of them could have died or maybe did die. But because she was there were a lot of soldiers that made it through. So her determination made a difference in the lives of many wounded soldiers. And her story is a testament to the power of resilience and the impact one can make when they refuse to give up. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted something so badly, but people kept telling you no? Or maybe, oh, you can't do that. People, our friends, our family, you don't want to do that. That's hard. Yeah, it is hard. But she did it anyway. Maybe we can learn something from these women. I'm just saying. So the last question I want to answer is, how does her story, Dr. Clem's story, contribute to our understanding of women's roles during World War I? Well, think back to World War I. What were we doing as women? What all the other women were doing, except for Dr. Clem. Her story contributes to my understanding of women's roles during World War I by shedding light on the challenges women face in their efforts to contribute to the war effort. Now, there were all kinds of efforts. There were things that women but did to help the war effort. I will say that was a time when everyone pitched in. What can I do to help? But she wanted to take it further. Remember, she was already trained as a doctor. I keep saying that because I think it's important. But the military here said, thank you, but no thank you. A trained doctor during a war. And our country said no. Just putting it out there. Despite these challenges, many women like Dr. Clem found ways to make significant contributions, thereby paving the way for future generations of women in the military and medical fields. So I know that certain fields were closed to women for years. And I'm not talking about combat. I'm talking about just being in the military. There was a time when women were only brought into the military or enlisted in the military because they were nurses. Or think of, what am I thinking about? The Vietnam War. Oh, hello. Well, a lot of women in the military were nurses, or they were in the typing pool. They typed up things. So she was breaking gender. She was bending those rules in a good way a long time ago. So why am I highlighting this? Because this is news to me. Why do we not know about women like this? Women who had such a high hill to climb, but they refused to say no. They said, I'm going to go do this one way or the other. So if you've ever been there, I would love to hear your story, or maybe even bring you on as a guest. But overcoming adversity, overcoming gender qualifications, just saying no is not a good answer. I don't like that answer. No, yeah, no. What else could I do? So I hope that in these stories that I'm telling, all the stories, because as women, we need to be celebrated. And I know that International Women's Day was Saturday. We need a whole month. We need a Women's International Month, because we bring so much to the table. We take the bar and we rise. So the men now have to jump here, and we're already here. And not anything against my male counterparts, but sometimes they think that women might bring down the quality of care or whatever genre we're talking about. We up the ante. We make people come up to our level. So with that, I'm going to end. I will have another story this whole month about women in sports and fitness and wellness, or women that I think need a voice, need to be heard. Their story needs to be heard on Sisters in Service. So until next time, take care and take care of each other. And as always, it's never too late to start your impossible. Bye.